Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode number 251 of the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media, and we welcome back Dodgers All-Star starting pitcher, Tyler Glasnow. What are you drinking, a half-cap decaf mocha latte with a twist? What is that drink you just
had?
Just
a black coffee. Just a, what's it called, like little pod Johnson's? I forgot the name. What's it called again? You put the little, not Keurig, the other one? I don't know.
I'm not much of a coffee drinker. You know, I can't.
Really?
No, well, I can't because of my ticker. So I'm not allowed. Yeah.
So what do you have any sort of stimulant in the morning, like tea or
life? I wake up
nice,
and life stimulates me, sir.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Well, how many cups of Joe do you go through as a baseball player a day?
My cutoff time is 1 o'clock. I don't like drinking it after 1. I feel like it messes with my sleep a little bit, or so they say. So I just have 1 cup usually in the morning, and that's it. And then sometimes if I'm feeling froggy, I'll have 2 or 4, but like nothing after 1 o'clock.
You on the day that you pitch, you don't do anything, right?
No, I'll have a coffee in the morning, and if it's like a night game, I just won't. Same thing. Like I usually will just have 1 in the morning at like 10, and then have no more.
I don't know if you saw the clip from your fellow Rose Rotation co-host and fellow NL West All-Star starting pitcher Logan Webb. He drinks 3 Red Bulls before every start.
Really?
Yes.
That doesn't seem healthy. I'm not a doctor, but I don't know. I don't like Red Bull too. They make me I get weird. I feel like a tweaker when I take a Red Bull. I just get really on edge. I don't like it. I want to feel relaxed. I don't feel relaxed when I have Red Bull.
Well, yeah, I watch you pitch virtually every start, and I could not imagine you on 3 Red Bulls. You might pull your hair out if that happened.
Yeah, exactly. I know, especially these last few. You start freaking out.
Okay. Now. Let's talk about some good stuff. Saw you back in Arlington, Texas, and I saw you do a little photo shoot. I imagine this was for Fox where you had to don the old cowboy hat and the whole bit. Did you get to keep that hat?
No. And also they asked me to do it, and I was like, I guess. All right, I'll do it. And then that's my awkward smile. Being I guess I will take a picture of this cowboy hat on. It was weird.
It doesn't look weird or uncomfortable at all. I mean, you look like you just totally played the role perfectly.
My family messaged me that too, and they're like, "You're clearly a little uncomfortable here." I'm like, "Yeah, you think?"
First time ever wearing a cowboy hat?
No, so when we went to the World Series in 20, we all got them.
Yeah.
So I've worn them, but just not for an extended period of time. Probably for a few seconds, and then I take it off.
Do you have one in your possession?
I have one at my parents' house. The one that we got for the 2020 World Series.
Okay.
I have, yeah.
All right. What was the best and worst part of your 2.5-day stint in Arlington?
The best, it was cool to share it with my family and have them all be there. And then Megan was there. That was super fun. I think it was a little unorganized at times, just because I think it's so many people coming in for 3 days, and it's a different location every single year that it's the best anyone could do. But it was a little people trying to figure out where to go and families, and it was kind of a shit show, we're not a shit show. It was awesome, but it was a whirlwind, and there was your schedule was full. And you have to be here, and then you got to go there for 30 minutes, and then it's I'm with my family. They're like, what do we do? I have no idea. So that was a little hectic, but I kind of expected it. It's a lot to try to plan all that out, and for the short amount of time, or the different location every year, they did a great job. So yeah, probably those 2 things.
But it's now on the resume, so you
Yeah,
can say
yeah, that was a goal of mine for sure. If I had to think of one thing I wanted to do, it was always to be an all-star. And I think I had some opportunities years prior, but I got hurt right before. And that was always really, really wanted to be an all-star and go and experience that. I didn't get to pitch, and hopefully I can do that in the next couple of years or whatever. But just the experience itself is so cool. Being in the same clubhouse with everyone and kind of stopping and looking around, just being it's nuts. Guys that have been there forever, and Freeman was there, and Sale and stuff like that. Just kind of the little kid in me was this is kind of sick. Stopping and looking around, it was awesome.
Who was the one guy you met where you were awesome?
I think probably just Sale, because he's been to 8, and I just talked to him. And he's a cool dude, and I guess all the Phillies guys are really cool. We were next to each other in the locker room, talking to all of them. They have a really cool tight-knit team. They've all been together for a long time, so just kind of picking their brain and talking to them was pretty cool. But I guess like if I were to pick up an individual, it was cool talking to Sale. Just been there so many times. Like 8 All-Star games is insane. It seems like a lot of time at an All-Star game. It's kind of nuts.
That's a big number, including I think a couple of starts for him. So
2 or 3. Right? Yeah.
Is it weird when you're trying to strike out Bryce Harper? At one point in a series, and now you're just a few locker stalls away. Was he like, "Hey Tyler, how you doing, man?" I mean,
yeah, he was super cool. He was super nice. We just like chatted up, talked. Everyone's like pretty low stress. It's All-Star game. Like everyone wants to play well, but it's like, whatever. Like it's the All-Star game. Like this isn't like a normal season game. So everyone's pretty calm and chill and relaxed. And it didn't. I don't know. I think I just faced him recently. After that, I didn't even think about it. It's one of those like competition mode brains, and then there's like hangout All-Star mode brain. So like 2 different versions.
Like, did we party it up? Woo! Did we go crazy?
At the All-Star game? No. I mean, no one really did. I think the vibe of the All-Star game used to be a lot different a while ago. Like, people would be drinking and hanging out and stuff, and now it's like, I don't know who made the rule, but it's like dry, no one can have alcohol, and it's like a whole, it's no fun. It's all seriousness, no fun. So, whatever. People bring it and stuff, but it was like not the atmosphere I thought it would be. I thought everyone would be getting kind of loose, but it wasn't.
Okay. It was nice for me. I got to see you for about 5 minutes in between shift changes. But more importantly, I got to sit with your parents for like 45 minutes. It was the nicest thing. Your mom sent me a text, and she's like, "Hey, if you have a chance, come down to this hotel." We happen to be staying at a John Boy Airbnb. There I am with your folks, and you're taking with your 8'7" arms a selfie of us all. I had the best time with your parents, I want to tell you.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah, they're fun. Especially to come in for All-Star game, they're kind of like on that vacation mode. They're chilling. They're having a good time. They really wanted to see you. So it was cool that they really enjoyed having you come down and hanging out and stuff. They talked about it a few times. So they love doing that stuff. They're the most social people I've ever met. So.
Yeah, they're very nice. I don't know where I would fit in like the Glasnow Sun rankings. I mean, basically I'm their contemporaries. They're a little bit older than me, but like if it goes Ted, Tyler, Chris, that's okay with me. I don't mind coming in third there.
I'm sure you're probably somewhere in the middle or closer to the top. You're easier to deal with, easier to handle. So
who's tougher to handle out of you and Ted?
I think it would probably change depending on the years of our life. But I'm sure as a kid, maybe me, maybe I was a little rambunctious, and then Ted can be a little difficult at times too. So I'd say, I don't know. I'm sure if you ask my parents, they'd be like, "Their kids are great," but who knows?
That is, it's interesting. All right, I want to tell you about a game-changing product that I recently used before a night out with drinks. It is called Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol. Let's face it right now. Night with drinks, my age, I don't bounce back the next day the way I used to. I have to make a choice. I can either have a really, really fun night out, drink responsibly, but have some fun, or have a great next day and not do anything the night before. That is until I found Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol. Pre-alcohol is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was actually invented by PhD scientists to tackle really rough mornings a night after drinking. So here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct. It's not dehydration that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break down this byproduct. Just remember to make Z-Biotics your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly. You're going to feel your best tomorrow. Like recently, I went to Vegas. As I mentioned, you like to have fun. Was out with Michelle. Was there with another couple. We wanted to go to Taiwan. We have one of these drinks, the Z-Biotics. Next day, you feel great. I could actually wake up and do other things instead of just go, "Oh my God, I feel like crap." So head on over to zbiotics.com/rotation. You're going to get 15% off your first order when you use rotation at checkout. Pre-alcohol, it is backed with 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they're going to refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head on over to zbiotics.com/rotation. Use that code, rotation at checkout, 15% off. Thank you, Z-Biotics, for sponsoring this episode and our good evenings. So you took center stage on the Monday of All-Star festivities because of Home Run Derby. Of course, you're going to kind of stand out in the crowd being 6'8" and everything else. But then you were the last Dodger standing as Teoscar ended up winning the whole thing. And everybody's like, what in the world could Glasnow be telling Teoscar Hernández about home run derby?
Yeah, nothing. I was just there. I was just his caddy. I was like, you need water? You need a towel? You need anything? He's like, no, just water. And I was like, maybe some electrolytes, some Gatorade to keep you hydrated, a lot of swings. And he's like, I'm good with water. Like, I was just trying to give him whatever he needed, just there for moral support. But it was a sick experience. And, like, Soto and Vladdy were there giving him, like, real tangible hitting advice. And I was just like, cool. Anyone need water? Like, I just was hanging out. It was cool, though. That was such an awesome day when he won that. Like, every round he went on, I was just like, oh, my God, this is insane. It was so cool.
Does he still have the home run derby chain in the clubhouse?
I'm sure. Not in the clubhouse. I haven't seen. I'm sure it's at home. It's with his family or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm sure he's still got it.
Yeah. I mean, what was the feeling of excitement for you when he actually did end up winning the whole thing?
Just, I think, like, each round it got like, and it was funny. Like, the first round was good. He was kind of like warming up, and then each round I'd go up to him and give him something. He would almost like call what he was going to do. It was really impressive. Like, really has a good foundation of, like, what he's trying to do with the bat, like a lot of good feel. And he's like, I'm going to hit 6 to 8 home runs right now. And then he hit 7 home runs. And then the next round he would be like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start this way. And then he would just do exactly what he said. And he would hit the exact amount of home runs he said he was going to hit. So that was just impressive to me. To, like, I've obviously, like, talking to hitters, like, what they're trying to do, but just to have that, like, plan and follow it was really, really impressive. Mm-hmm. Just each round he went on, and, like, Dino was there throwing to him, and, like, we had the staff members there, and it was just cool. Like, you're just rooting for your guy, and then it was really, and it was like neck and neck each round, and it was kind of like a really entertaining, especially that last round. It was like within 1 home run, and just like when he won, it was just nice and relaxed. It was an awesome experience.
I will say this: it is too long.
It's a long one. I might have to agree with you on that. Like, I think I kind of looked up too, like, the stands were full, and then by the end of it, I was like, it's kind of dwindled a little bit. Like, there was still a lot of people there, but I wonder what viewership was. Or, like, I'm sure it was a lot in the beginning, kind of died down in the middle, and then, like, got a shot back up towards the end. But, yeah, I think, too, it's a lot of swings. Like, that's insane to do in the middle of a season. Like, the All-Star break is supposed to be a break, and it's just so – anyone you talk to that's ever hitting it's like, that's a lot of swings. So I think that old school format with the outs was probably – that was pretty cool. But all in all, like, not talking shit, it was a big, sick experience. Mm-hmm. Everyone who put it on did a good job.
Okay, you had the red carpet event. You looked, you and Meg looked wonderful out there on the red carpet. Did you have your suit specifically designed for this?
No, I got that for Cole Tucker's wedding, actually. I just went to Suit Supply and got a linen suit. And I was like, I'm just going to wear this. I didn't want to get, like, some special outfit. I'm not really like a dress nice guy. I guess every now and again, but yeah, it was just like a suit I had. And it's Texas, and it was like 1,000,000 degrees out, so it's like a linen suit is perfect. I'm not going to wear some crazy heavy thing. So
yeah, she looks great. Her dress is phenomenal.
It's cool. I'm glad she got it too. We matched well, and it was a cool experience. So we went out, walked the red carpet for like 10 minutes. We were both dripping with sweat. We got inside, and then, but it was cool. I'm super glad she got to come with me for the experience. Just to, like, have her there and kind of enjoy it all. Like, my first experience as an All-Star, and then, like, having her there with me was so sick. It was an awesome.
Yeah, that's. I don't think I would do well on that carpet because I am a sweater. I look like I just went 12 rounds with Mike Tyson every time I put on a suit.
So am I, dude. I think a lot of baseball players are. I think anyone in that heat, it was like 100-something degrees with humidity, was sweating. Like, I looked at everyone was just dripping with sweat. Like, it was a lot. So I think you wouldn't be alone.
No, but I am very finicky. My mom used to buy my clothes when I was little, and she'd bring them back, and I'd be like, this is too itchy. Like, I'm a real specific fabric sort of guy. And, like, there's still certain shirts, dress shirts, like, Michelle helps me pick them out, and she's like, here, why don't you wear this when you're doing the NFL? I'm like, too itchy. She's like, it's not too itchy. Put it on, stop being a little pussy, and wear the damn shirt. And I was like,
the same way. I get that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So I'm not
That's
alone.
why I just dress like I'm homeless every day. I wear a linen suit once a year if I go to the All-Star game, and then the rest of the time I just look homeless.
Do you ever dress up when you're going to the ballpark?
No. like on the road, you can't wear like shorts. Like at home, I'll just wear like a bathing suit or shorts and flip flops and a t-shirt every single day. And then on the road, you kind of have to look not homeless, like a little bit more presentable. So I'll wear like, if you catch me in a collar, it's a rare occasion. So I'll usually just wear a t-shirt, pants, and shoes. And I have like 3 pairs of the same shoe. I just wear the most sterile standard stuff. Like no logo t-shirt, just a solid black or gray or white shirt with solid colored pants and shoes. I have the worst sense of style ever.
You wear a bathing suit to Dodger Stadium?
Sometimes, yeah. Like a dual threat type of short, you know? It could be either or. You could go work out in them or you could go to the beach.
Flip-flops?
Yeah, definitely flip-flops to Dodger Stadium. It's just easy. It's convenient. You just slip your feet in. I don't have to bend over and put my socks on. It's like...
So, you know, you're interesting for the social media team there, I assume, in LA, because they like to get guys now walking. Like, that's a big thing on social media. Is getting now in the NBA, and the NFL, they've turned it into an art with guys showing up. Like some of the stuff the guys are wearing, it's certifiably nuts. But so with you don't even give it a second thought, like the camera might be in my face.
No, and they'll post stuff too. Like I'll have like my homeless get up on, and they'll like, it's fine. I don't care. Like it's not like I'm trying to. I just kind of dress for comfort or convenience. I just wake up in the first pair of shorts and the first T-shirt I see, I just throw on and I go to the field. And it's the thing is too, you're there. I'm not home that often. I'm there for like an hour and a half, and then I'm at the field the whole day. I'm there for so long, so it's like I get there and I'm there for 11 hours. Like that's kind of my day. Like I don't know. I don't wear like real people clothes that often.
All right, more of the show's coming your way, but first this word about card collecting. That's right. For most of us, collecting cards, the idea of spending a couple grand or more on a Luka Doncic or Elly De La Cruz or Patrick Mahomes rookie card, it just isn't in the cards, right? You might love collecting, but that's some serious money to drop. And thanks to slab packs from arenaclub.com, now it's possible to score gem mints for a fraction of the retail price. Every card that was listed was hit from last week's Arena Club slab pack drop. Arena Club is the only repack that provides real value, a complete view of all possible cards, and clear hit rates for each one. In fact, we did it. We pulled an autographed Cade Horton from the pack that they sent us. Good for us. Now, the Arena Club grading process, it is accurate, it is fast, it's transparent, with a full grade rationale provided and explanation of how your card was actually scored. Because usually, you look at this thing, you're like, well, how do they figure this out? Are they just pulling this out of thin air? No, there's an explanation. So whether you're buying, you're selling, you're trading, or displaying, Arena Club is the card collecting platform that you simply have to check out. Right now, you can get 10% off your first slab pack of card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/rose. That is arenaclub.com/rose. 10% off your first purchase. Enjoy. Okay, so we are recording this on a Wednesday. You pitched on Monday against the Phillies. What is your work day today?
So yesterday, I just do like a recovery mobility thing, like hot tub, cold tub type of thing, soft tissue. And then today I'll go in and I'll do like a pre-throw like mobility thing, get my body hot. And then I'll go do like a normal throwing program. And then I'll come in and I'll do a lift. And then a lower body lift. And then if I need anything else like modality wise or like hands-on stuff, I'll do that after or during.
Okay, so when you say you're throwing, does that just mean you're going out and long tossing and that's it, just to get your arm loose?
Yeah, I'll go and I'll do weighted balls. I'll do like a 32 ounce a little bit, and then I'll do a 16 ounce ball down to an 11 ounce ball, to an 8 ounce ball, to a 5 ounce ball, just to like warm everything up and get my arm path right. And then I'll go outside, throw to like 150, 120 feet. And then I'll bring it back in and throw like sliders, curveballs, and heaters at like 65-ish feet on the flat ground. And then I'm done. So it's just like I'm trying to get hot, get my like release point again, and then shut it down. And then like I have a bullpen the following day. So just trying to get my arm timing-wise ready, and then to do the bullpen the following day.
And how long does all of that take for you?
My warm-up's about like 30 minutes, 30 to like 35 minutes every day. And then throwing is probably, the weighted balls is 10 minutes and throwing is 10 minutes. So like 50 minutes. And then you go, so every normal day, a standard day is about like an hour long to like warm up and throw. and then the stuff after, and then like the lift will take another like hour or so. So 2-ish to 3-ish hours, I guess, and then you do like the recovery stuff after. So it's like kind of like a full Johnson.
And then you're a baseball fan.
Yeah, and I just go sit and cheer on my team.
Who do you like to sit next to in the dugout most days?
A bunch of, honestly, everyone. Like I cannot sit still during a baseball game. Like
right.
It's kind of like the same thing as like if I'm driving in a car with someone and I'm in the passenger seat, I'm like, oh, I want to do it. You know what I mean? So I kind of like, I'm a little antsy. So I'll go like for an inning or two. I'll sit up by like Freddie has a chair here, and then it's a cooler, and then it's Muncy has a chair, and Muncy's back and forth, and he sits around, and so it's like a padded seat. So I'll go sit there for like in Muncy's seat if he's not there for like an inning or two, and then I'll move over to like where the starters sit, and I'll hang out a little bit. I'll go inside. I'll come back. I'll talk to Yav, like our strength coach. I'll talk to everyone, and then like I've been talking to Flaherty. He's on our team now. Honestly, like I talked to probably 10 different people a game. I'm moving around. I'm antsy.
Well, you had a new experience recently. Last night was Clayton Kershaw's second start, I believe, or third start, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Are you watching those a little differently than you would watch somebody else because of who it is?
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm more, I wouldn't say more locked in, but it's like, yeah, Clayton Kershaw's back from a capsule injury that usually takes people way longer. And he's coming back looking this sharp already. Like just watching that in itself is extremely impressive. Just to see what he's able to do and how he's able to move so quickly after a capsule, it's unheard of. It's like he's a superhuman, and he works extremely hard. Like watching him do his routine in the weight room and watching him rehab prior to now getting in his in-season routine, just kind of seeing how all that like manifests is really interesting. Just to see the work he puts in and then what he's able to do on the mound. And it's just insane. Like even his first start was impressive, struggled the second one, and then yesterday he looked insane, like really sharp. He's back to like normal Clayton Kershaw form, and just to see him be able to do what he can do, throwing like 91 and just carve guys up is so insane. And his slider is just really good. Curveball is super sharp. He's like fine-tuned his craft more than anyone I've ever seen.
How curious are you about what the Dodgers starting rotation is going to look like down the stretch? Because we knew there were so many questions about this rotation going into the year, and it seems like that has even, in some cases, multiplied with Walker Buehler hasn't been back. Yamamoto got hurt. You have now thrown the most innings of your career. So I think as baseball fans, we're curious what things are going to look like. Are you curious as a guy in that clubhouse?
I guess I think either way, it's designed well enough to like we have a good starting rotation regardless. Like I think Yamamoto's plan obviously is to come back before playoffs, so we'll get Yamamoto. Buehler I think is going to pitch relatively soon here. We have Kershaw, Flaherty. We have like Stone. We've got River. It's so many good options and so much depth that I think if it was like, if we didn't have that many options, I think I'd maybe be a little bit like, ooh, what are we going to do with starting rotation? Like we need this in the playoffs and stuff, but it's so many good arms that it's like, however it unfolds, we're going to be in good shape. So I don't think about it too much, I guess.
Jack Flaherty is a Southern California dude, just much like yourself. Was he texting you when he was still a member of the Detroit Tigers, like asking you about the organization and everything else?
Not really. I texted him like when he got traded and was like, can't wait, this is going to be awesome, blah, blah, blah. I think it wasn't like really a lot of questions. He's played for multiple organizations, so I think he kind of understands like there's different, you know what I mean? There's not really anything you can ask. Maybe some people, but like he's a pretty go with the flow, like right dude. And like each organization has like staples, It's like he knows that everything he needs is going to be there. I'm assuming. Like I talked to him about it yesterday in the dugout a little bit. Like what are the differences and everything like that. But he's transitioned extremely well so far. Like he came in, shoved against Oakland, been back in his normal routine, and kind of seems like he's home. He kind of is home, but he seems very comfortable.
I think you're a year older than him. Is that right?
He's 28. I'm 30. So
he's 28.
Maybe, right?
Oh, okay.
2 years, year and a half.
So you guys never played in the same circles when you were growing up or anything like?
No, I don't think so. Like there's been times where like I didn't think I did, and then someone would be like, "You remember that time?" And I'd be like, "No." So I don't, like maybe on a travel team or in the whatever. Maybe we played a while ago, but I don't think we have. I feel like I would have remembered him. And like he went to Harvard Westlake. He was 2 years, something younger than me, something in high school. So I don't think I ever played him.
Well, are you the same year as Lucas and Freed?
I think weren't they all the same year? I think they're both 2 years younger than I am. No,
those
Lucas
guys are older.
I played with Giolito at an area code tryout that I didn't make because I stunk. But he was there throwing like 93, and he made the team. But I remember just being like, "Oh, that guy throws hard and he's very big," and he was like the only guy I remembered. I don't remember Max. I don't think I played with him at all, but I do remember Lucas.
Wait a second. You said about Lucas, boy, he's big and he throws hard. So people wouldn't have said the same thing about you?
Not in high school. I was a lot smaller. I was tall. I was like 6'5", 6'6" at the time. But I was like a little thin boy. He was stout. He had some meat on him. I was like, that's pretty cool. He was throwing like 93 at the time too. He was good.
Well, he hit Freed in the face one time in an inter-squad scrimmage.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he
was wild then too. I'd believe that. It wasn't like an on-purpose thing, was it? More like accidental. Okay, I was like, I don't know. I didn't think he was like a dick either, but I could be wrong.
Did you say it was accidental or maxcidental? What did you say?
Nice. I wish I would have said it. Dang.
Yeah, that was kind of stupid.
Attention, attention, attention. It's the bottom of the ninth. 2 outs, bases full, down 3. The crowd is on their feet, and the drama of baseball is real. And so is all the action at DraftKings Sportsbook. From the first pitch to the final out, DraftKings has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boost, and so much more. And if you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. So download DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code ROSE. And new customers bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code ROSE only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Shohei, third fastest ever to a 30-30 season. Has his speed surprised you the most out of his entire skill set, or is it something else?
Well, I think I was aware of his speed. Like, I think we're playing against the Angels, being like, oh, shit, that guy's fast. He's very big. Like, that was probably the first time I was surprised, so I knew he was fast, but I guess seeing it firsthand is pretty incredible. Like, I think what surprised me the most is, like, how effortless his power is. Like, he'll hit the ball 113, and it's like he doesn't even barrel the ball, which is insane. And, like, I guess his ability to run the bases and like his stolen base speed is also impressive. Like I knew he was fast first to third just because he's a tall guy, you know what I mean? And like he can get to his top speed, but like the ability to get from first to second that quickly is impressive because most tall guys aren't like that. But yeah, just the overall package is just impressive. Like every single day he does something where I'm like, what? It just doesn't make any sense. He's an alien. It's insane how good he is at baseball. That guy was just born to play baseball. It's nuts.
Is he the fastest guy on your team?
I don't think so. I think actually no. He's not. I actually asked this question. I don't think top speed. I don't think he's the fastest. He's up there for sure.
Who is?
I don't know. I think Vargas was sneaky one of the fastest guys. I think Teo is actually really fast too. I think he might be like top 3. Gavin's up there. I don't know who the fastest guy is. And it's also different. Like top speed outfield is different than like running bases. Like people have different speed in different places. I don't know who the top guy is, but I'm sure Shohei is probably up there. Top 5 for sure. And he's like 250 pounds. I don't understand. It's insane.
None of it makes sense, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to go 40-40 this year.
Easy, for sure.
Some people have said maybe that they've learned more about him this season in a year where he hasn't pitched than perhaps any other year because like he is dominant in that batter's box. And in my opinion, he's going to win the National League MVP going away unless somebody on one of these other contending teams just goes apeshit for the last 2 months.
Yeah, he's leading every category other than RBIs. He's 5 off of Ozuna, I think, for a triple crown. So that seems like, and it kind of seems sort of like a DH to win an MVP, but it doesn't in this case just because it's Shohei and he's leading everything. But yeah, who's the second closest?
Maybe Ketel Marte. He's had a really good year.
Yeah.
But nobody else, like nobody on Atlanta, nobody on San Diego. When I'm just throwing out contending teams here, nobody on the, like Lindor has had a solid year, but his numbers are dwarfed by Shohei's. Mookie has missed a substantial amount of time. Freddie has had a good year, but not a great Freddie type season, if you will.
Right.
So I just don't think anybody else has pushed him.
What about who else is who has 30 potential? 30.
Well, Elly De La Cruz
Elly De La
does.
Cruz, he's probably one of the closest, right? 30, 50. He could get 50 bags. He could
he's
30
got
homers.
No, he's already at 50 bags. He's almost at 60.
Oh, yeah. He got 4 off of me in one game. So you're welcome. That's insane. How many homers does he have? 25?
He's almost at 20.
What's his average? Do you know?
His average is, I think, in the mid-2s or so. Yeah. He's still a big strikeout guy, but his strikeout percentage has gone down. Like, he's learning. Plouffe and I had a big talk the other day on Baseball Today about the Reds giving him a Bobby Witt Jr. type contract. Like, I think they ought to do it this offseason, or they're nuts.
Yeah, I'm sure. I wonder if they approached him about it as well. And do you think he could make as much as Bobby Witt? Do you think he would be?
Yeah, I do, in part because his improvement from last season to this season. After this year, as long as he stays healthy, he'll be about 60 games shy of Bobby Witt's mark through 2 years. But the incremental improvement on both of them is very, very similar in terms of power numbers, OPS jumping, strikeout rate going down, walk rate going up. Obviously, they're two of the best in terms of speed in the game and changing the game on the base paths and all that sort of stuff.
That's an undervalued thing as well. The ability to get on base and just cause chaos is so undervalued. Base running in general, stolen bases. I know there's value in it, but I still think it's a little underplayed how amazing, especially in a playoff situation where you need runners and you need just to score runs. It's so important. Having a fast lineup. I know when I pitch against guys who can run the bases because I suck at holding runners, it's this is going to be an eventful day. It's crazy. How old is De La Cruz too? He's pretty young, right? He's still got a ton of time.
Oh yeah, I think he's 22. I mean, this is his second.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. Yeah,
this is his second full season, and I mean, I don't know if you've met the kid or not, but he seems like a wonderful, wonderful kid.
The All-Star game I talked to him, he's really cool. Humble dude, good energy about him, well-spoken. He's the man. And I remember that one interview or whatever, someone asked him, he's just I want to give a message to all the kids and he's, you know what I mean? He's very thoughtful. It's cool. And he's got that confidence about him at such a young age, which is really impressive. I think that's one of the most impressive things. You can see a guy who's that young and comes in and is very much himself and just does what he does and has the swag he has. That says a lot about someone's character, the confidence they have. Because I've seen a lot of guys act different when they first come up because they're a little nervous, me included. Kind of but if you can stay yourself and be who you are that young, it's awesome.
Well, not only has he not been nervous, he did the opposite. This offseason, he really worked on his English because he said, he said, I know I'm going to be the dude. I want people to understand how I'm feeling. And I want them to kind of be along for the journey. I thought for a guy in his early 20s, that's as mature and as cool as it gets.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know I mentioned, too, he's trying to learn a little Japanese for Shohei as well. So clearly he's a studious young man.
Was it fun for you to kind of watch all these other stars in the National League be around Shohei for the first time at the All-Star game?
Yeah, I think everyone kind of, maybe from other teams it's a bit different, but I think Shohei is such a normal, humble dude that you immediately, once you spend time with him, the idea of him as Shohei Ohtani goes away. It's just this is a guy that plays baseball that obviously everyone loves, but he's so normal and cool that I think it's just people look at him oh, this is just it's Shohei, but it's not wow, you know what I mean? I think that's for a lot of other people that have never met him. It's the separation thing, but I think that quickly, when I first met him, I'm well, this is awesome, Shohei Ohtani. And then quickly it just becomes oh, he's just a cool, normal dude that just happens to be a freak on a baseball field. But I don't know, I guess it would be different. I guess it would depend on who you ask, I guess. But I'm sure there were some starstruck young dudes in that clubhouse for sure.
Oh, I'm sure about that. I'm sure. You guys had a real interesting moment on Monday night. Freddie Freeman had been on the family emergency list because of his 3-year-old son, Maximus, who was going through a pretty severe illness. And thankfully, everything is trending in the right direction. And Freddie returned. Now, you were actually pitching in this game, and I know that you are laser focused when you're doing this. But when Freddie went to the plate for the first time and the place stands and he's tipping his cap and he's pounding his chest as a thank you, were you able to kind of take this in as a humanizing moment, or were you so far deep in the game that you couldn't do it?
No, I was for sure. So I don't sit in the dugout in between innings because I'm like trying to stay loose and like I'm downstairs like moving and trying not to like. And I was sitting there. I stopped and like watched the TV and the broadcast and just saw this, and it was extremely emotional. And just too, like Freddie means so much to our team, like his clubhouse presence and just who he is as a person and who he is as a player means so much. And for him to like, he like obviously takes his career extremely serious. He's one of the most professional baseball players I've ever met. Will never take a day off. Doesn't matter how bad he feels. He always plays. So it means so much to him. But like, that man was made to be a father. Like, he loves his kids. Everyone loves their kids. But like, I remember talking to him too. Like, even as a young kid, he was like, my dream growing up, like obviously it was big, but it was like to have a family and to have kids. Like, I wanted a lot of children. Like, his kids mean everything to him. Like, they're always in the clubhouse. He's like an extremely attentive dad. So when this happened, and to see him when like it first kind of went down and his son was sick, just to see how he was, like, he's always the same dude. He's always like a bubbly, funny, good guy. And just to see like, oh, this is like, it's weighing on him. You know what I mean? He didn't like show it and like be very emotional, but you could just tell it was like in his head all the time. It was hard for him to be in the moment. And then when he left, you could just tell it was really bothering him. And then, so for him to go and be gone that long and just have to deal with that, it sucked. All of us it was just terrible. Like, we kept getting updates, and it was just such a weird time. And then finally, when we got the word of like his son was coming out of it and everything was kind of getting resolved, it was just like everyone, you could tell. It was like our clubhouse was like, oh, that was what we were half thinking about baseball and half thinking about Freddie and his situation. So it was just such a weird time. I've never really experienced anything like that. I don't think anyone has, like on a baseball team. But for him to just come back, and it was, I don't know, it was just insane. It was so much like bigger than baseball that it just kind of made stressing about baseball like pointless in a sense. You know what I mean? It's just like the grand scheme of life, like that is so much more important. And I'm just glad it's been resolved.
I also loved the Phillies. We saw the clip of Castellanos kind of taking his hat off, and when
so close to this son as well too. I think that hit home for him.
I think for anybody that's a dad in that stadium, it did, or a parent, period. Bryce Harper and Freddie made a point in his post-game press conference to say, hey, Bryce Harper texted me 4 times out of the 9 days that I was away to make sure that everything was good. And when Freddie got to first after a knock, you saw he and Harper give an embrace there. Like, the Dodgers and the Phillies, you guys aren't going to like each other. I mean, when you see each other in October, if that happens, and we're fortunate enough as baseball fans to get that series, you guys are all going to want to beat the crap out of each other. But for that night, man, that was as memorable a moment as we've seen this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. It just transcends baseball. Like, it becomes so much more, like, you get so caught up and like so consumed with your career and like your baseball struggles, and then something like this happens, and it's like this weird thing where you go like, why would I let this like fester or bring me stress? Like, clearly everyone cares about their career a lot, but like, it just puts things into perspective so quickly, where like there was a potential for him to lose his son, and then like people get sad about going 0 for 4 pitching bad. It's just like, wow, you know what I mean? It just like punches you in the face of like, oh my God, like this is real life trouble, especially for a dude like Freddie, where like being a dad is like his number one thing. Just seeing how attentive and how much he loves his kids, it just seems like the worst person it could happen to. But I'm glad it's over. So good.
So back to the games we play. We are doing this show the day after the Chicago White Sox actually won a game for the first time in weeks, a 21-game losing streak. I don't know if you saw the shot of your now former teammate, Miguel Vargas, after they lost their 21st in a row, sitting in the corner of the dugout in Oakland, looking like, what? What is going on?
I feel so bad for him. This is such a crazy video. I remember seeing this being like, damn, because he is the man. That dude is like, I love that guy. He's got the best personality ever, one of the funniest people I've ever played with, and just like, I loved having him around, and then seeing this was like that sucks. Just to see him like, and I don't know what he was thinking. Like, you know what I mean? He could just be like, oh, maybe we're reading too much into it, but just to see him kind of look like that, it was kind of hard, kind of rough. Like, it just seems like a team to go from LA to the White Sox. That's a kind of a shitty transition. No offense to the White Sox, but that's tough.
Could you imagine one day being up several games in a division and the next morning you are 40 games out?
Yeah, that sucks. There's a silver lining in the fact that like the opportunity he'll get is a lot higher. You know, I think he'll get to play a lot more. But if your goal is to win and be on a winning team, and just life and baseball in general is so much better when you're on a winning team. Like being on a losing team sucks. Like no matter what, like everyone's pointing out like what's wrong with the organization or what's wrong with the team or what's wrong with this. Like winning cures everything, and losing is like just this like disease that comes in and just like puts everyone in a bad mood and just it turns the clubhouse. It's crazy. So I think the polarizing effect of going from LA to the White Sox is even more of a what in the world is going on type of a feeling.
Did it when you saw that? Did it take you back to your early days in Pittsburgh, where maybe things weren't going great, and you were like, "Oh man, a little PTSD for you"?
I don't think even in Pittsburgh it was as bad as it was with the White Sox. You know, like I think that whole like breaking records of losing type thing is pretty gnarly. But I think a little bit. I think it just Pittsburgh was maybe like a losing thing reminded me of where I was in like my headspace back then, trying to figure out how to pitch and how to navigate all the crazy being called up to the big leagues. And yeah, like I said, I don't know if it's necessarily as bad, but I think anytime I like watch a team who does have a losing record, like you look over in the dugout and you're like, I know what that feels like. Like that's not.
But you know what? I figured they're that far. Wouldn't you just say, hey, let's just lose a couple more? Just so, like, if you want to be the best at something, be the best losers ever.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. I don't know if any of the players would agree, but that is one way to look at it. I think did they end up breaking the record or no? They were one game short.
So they tied the American League mark at 21.
Okay.
Listen to this. The 1988 Baltimore Orioles started the season 0-21. Started.
Oh my God. That's a tough year. It's not that bad. That's something that's another silver lining. At least they're not them.
And they had two future Hall of Famers in Cal Ripken Jr. and Eddie Murray on that team.
Damn. How would they end up finishing that year?
Probably not as bad as you would think. If I remember correctly, they lost 100 games, but it wasn't like 115 or 110, right. I don't think. Yeah. So.
No, it sucks too, because I feel like the White Sox went out and kind of like tried to formulate a good team and like paid a lot of young guys, and then it just has not worked out at all. No. So I wonder why too. It's weird.
I think that's one of the great mysteries. I cannot wait till those guys want to talk. I'm going to do a 30 for 30. ESPN, you can hire me. I will produce that one because I want to know what the hell happened during the La Russa era and then how it all just went to shit.
Are there any people like free agents on that team that don't play anymore that are like actually would be open to like speaking on it? You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of guys on the team like will go somewhere else and while you're still in the game, it's like you still keep like a reserved opinion. But I feel like if there was someone on that team that's now not there, I think they'd probably be like, this is what's wrong.
I smell an investigative Rose rotation coming your way.
Oh yeah, there you go.
We had one of your former teammates on, Pete Fairbanks, recently.
Yeah,
Did you see it or did you watch
I saw I saw the thumbnails and such.
Okay, so did you see the part where we talked about you?
No.
Would you like to?
Sure, run it.
What do you miss most about not seeing him on a daily basis?
Just his antics. Everything that Glass brings, he's just like a giant whirlwind of chaos. I don't know if Glass has told this story on here or not. One of my favorite things that Glass has done, he destroyed a Theragun in Oakland, I think. I show up to the bullpen usually a little bit late, and I'm walking down, and there's just shattered pieces of a Theragun everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? And Glass had, I guess, given up a run or something that inning, and this thing was in shame. It was just destroyed, which I support. You got to get the anger out.
I think that might have been Rich Hill. But I'm not surprised that I broke something. But I don't know, maybe that was me. Maybe I just forget all the things that I break. But it sounds like me. I would agree, and I think Pete and me kind of have that same. So like, we both are on that same wavelength. So that would make sense.
So you're not copping to the Theragun necessarily. I would imagine if you broke a Theragun, you would remember that one.
That's what I assumed too. But I'm pretty sure that was because I remember like Rich Hill at one game had done it, and then like all the smoke or like the dust had settled, and he was like. He kind of snapped back into reality, and I remember for like 20 minutes he was like trying to put the Theragun back together, and we were like, "It's fine, like, it's fine." But yeah, I don't know. I'm like a psychopath the day I pitch for sure. Like I have the most emotion I've ever I get full on rage for sure. Like I just think it's one of those you feel it, you get it out, and then it's all right on to the next inning. And I think I used to feel that feeling and then just keep it bottled up all game long, and then it would fester and it'd go into each inning. So I think my strategy now is just to let it out. And I think there's been a few things that broken. I don't remember Theragun, but I think I've towel holder, a couple like trunks, some trash cans. But yeah, I think I've taken it out on a few objects.
What did you do to a trunk? Please tell me you don't like grab a bat and beat
No. Maybe just like a 300, like a drop kick. Like I'm pretty weary of like I don't want to get hurt. So it's like if I am going to do anything, it's like more of like a throw something or like a softer item. Like I'm not a punch a wall guy, you know. I just kind of get it out and then I move on. But it's weird. I like something about baseball. It like brings up this like because I don't really ever get like that normally. Like any of you'd ask Megan, she'd be like, you don't really have like many like emotions. Like you don't really get super up. But for some reason, like I think just the idea of being a starting pitcher and playing once a week and then something goes bad, it's like. I play once a week and this shit happened. Like you just get so like my whole every day is dedicated to trying to like become a better pitcher and like get right. And then when you just have like a shitty game or a shitty inning, it's just not a good feeling.
Well, I have the feeling after chatting with Fairbanks that you guys are kind of on a similar wavelength because he's really calm. He's very funny. He's outstanding with his answers. You know, he gives a deep thought. You're both extremely tall. You both hold your glove kind of weird near your face, the whole bit. And then he snaps. He says, he said, I owe the Twins like an IKEA stool because I snapped and I broke one there. Like you guys are kind of running on the same frequency here, man.
Yeah, for sure. I think Pete too he takes his career very seriously and works extremely hard. And I think like when it is your job and like everything you do throughout the day is for the betterment of that career, it's like when it doesn't, you know what I mean? It's just like that's your everything. It's like your work. It's your it is. And some people handle it a little differently, but yeah, me and Pete definitely we have a little bit of psycho in us. I'd say a lot of passion for the game, I suppose you could say.
Okay, let's end it with the Opossum. Did you see him last night on the field?
Yeah, I did see it. They didn't stop the game either. We were sitting over there. Me and Flaherty were like, "Opossum? That's kind of crazy." Yeah.
Those are freaky looking. I'm not so sure. God.
They get violent too. They can get nasty. Possums are like, they're kind of the same. Like if they pitch bad, quote unquote, they get pretty mean. If you corner them, they can bite you.
Now, you know, I know you're a world traveler, but do you like seeing animals in the wild? Like, would you love it if a bear rolled up on your car or if you went on an African safari and a lion came close to you? Is that something that you would crave or you'd be like, let's get the fuck out of here?
No, I'm going on a safari in Africa this offseason. It's something I definitely want to see. I guess there's a fine line, though. Like, I think sometimes I see videos of people, like, who like a bear comes up to their property and you're like, oh, and they get all close. Or, like, I think you definitely need to respect the distance. Like, but I think as long as it's like relatively safe for the person that I'm with, it's like, yeah, it's fine. I think I love the animal thing. Like this idea of a safari that's like one of my favorite days, I'd say. So I do like it. I just think I also don't want to die. I'm also aware of that. So
yeah, I'm not so sure. Like if I've gotten near the bear that I could stand still, I think it would be over for me because I don't care what group I'm in. I'm far and away the slowest person there. I don't have to take inventory. I'm last one in. And then I don't think I could sit still to have that thing sniff me.
Yeah, I wonder what is the strategy. What do people say if a bear does come up to you? What are you supposed to do?
Sit still. You haven't seen the social media clip of those two women there, where it's not like an enormous like 12-foot bear, but it's eye to eye with you, and one swipe and it's over.
Yeah.
So came up and sniffed all the way around this person, and the person stood still.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess if that's a strategy, I guess I would have to. I don't know. Like, definitely don't want to run. I also think you're probably like scared stiff. Like the fight or flight's probably kicked in, and it's too late to run. So you're just like, I don't. Like you just like you really can't. It's out of your control at that point. I really don't know what I would do in that situation, but I would definitely not be comfortable. I don't know.
Here it is.
Oh yeah, it's a little baby one, but that would still murder all of them.
Now, I think the woman in gray starts moving a little bit. But look at that. No way. There's no way. It would be over for me. I would probably turn around, want to punch it in the nose and see if that worked.
I don't think that would work. I don't think that's a good strategy. But that's what people say. You're supposed to you're supposed to sit still.
Yeah, but the woman in gray can't do it. Look at her. Look at her. She's got the little handshakes like, oh, God, get away from us. But this girl, she moved a little bit. Nope.
Oh, see? And it's a cub. Aren't you supposed to make up some crazy loud? I don't know.
Oh my God! I've seen this hundreds of times, and it still freaks the hell out of me.
Yeah, that's gnarly. That thing's pretty tall.
Okay, so just remember all this when you're on your cute little safari, paying thousands and thousands of dollars. Are you going to glam it? Are you going to glamp it? Or are you going to?
I don't know. We still haven't decided. We're probably going to do a little like half and half. Megan and me probably Megan too likes to do a little bit more like in the thick of things, like not really like a bougie thing, but more of like when we went to Peru this last off season, we did a lot more like no shower overnight camping type of stuff, which is fun. And then when you do get to shower, it feels even better. You know what I mean? Like you gotta have you embrace the suck for a little bit, and then it that's the thing. The things I remember the most are the things that were the most uncomfortable at the moment, like doing the hiking and stuff, and like having to spend the night without showering was that's the thing I remember the most. It's crazy. It's probably the thing I will remember the most out of any trip.
I'm always cognizant, though, of how I smell. And when I know I smell bad, then I know the person who's next. Like, if Michelle has to be near me, I know that she must be like, whoa.
Yeah, I don't know. You both probably have, nose blindness. You probably both smell bad. So it's yeah. I've been around long enough.
I mean, I've been with her 30 years. She's really, it's amazing.
Not a smeller? That's good. Good for her.
It's impressive. It's impressive how she's done that. Good for her. I appreciate you joining me for a little while. Always fun, getting your thoughts on what's going on. Oh, one last thing. This is a baseball question about Aaron Judge. Did you say he got walked intentionally with nobody? Right? Yeah, with nobody on. And then 3 more times the next day, and didn't work out great for the Blue Jays, although I don't think they gave up any runs the 3 times they intentionally walked him. And Pete Walker, their pitching coach, said, hey, get used to it. Like, this is it. For a guy who's faced Aaron Judge as much as you have, having been in the same division over the years, hey, if your team's like, don't pitch to him, isn't there a little bit of you that's like, no, I want to pitch to him?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think I'd ever be happy intentionally walking anybody. I think the mentality while I'm pitching is I can get anybody out. I know strategically, depending on the situation, it might be a good idea. And Aaron Judge is arguably one of the best hitters in the league, but that would if I was pitching, I would be mad. I think it's still you're hitting 300, you still get out 7 out of 10 times. I still want to.
Not him lately.
But yeah, that is true. And I think a lot of times too, if that team isn't on, if they're struggling a little bit, and it's just Aaron and Soto, because I feel like there's been a few times this year where it's everyone's kind of calm, but it's just those two hitting. It's if you take one of them out of the equation, you got to get one guy out. I understand it, but. I don't know. Part of me still, just as a competitor, is I don't want to intentionally walk anybody. That's frustrating.
Okay. Is your breakfast cold now?
No, just go back and heat it up. We're good.
Is Megan going to be mad at me for taking all this time?
No, she knew she was just up there cooking. She knew I was 11:30. She loves the roast rotation. She's all about it.
That's very sweet. It really is. Okay. I love it. All right. Hopefully I'll see you someday out of the ball yard. My schedule has just been wacky, so I apologize.
Yeah,
I do want to get out
come
there.
to the stadium or whatever. tickets are passing around.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
You know, my Guardians come to town in early September.
Yeah. I got you.
Good man. You're a good man. All right. For our amazing producer, Robbie Scirocco, our awesome intern, Tommy Young, that is All-Star Dodgers starting pitcher, Tyler Glasnow. I have to use that. It's almost like Dr. Tyler Glasnow. Every time I introduce you now, it'll be All-Star Tyler Glasnow. I am Chris Rose. We'll see you next time here on the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media.